After Law & Order SVU, an unforgettable lesson for students on a semester at sea. We'll talk to a Raleigh woman who held on through the wild ride. Plus, Pope John Paul II rushed to the hospital. We've got the latest on his condition.
Later on The Tonight Show, Jay flies in with The Aviator's Best Actor Oscar nominee, Leonardo DiCaprio. Plus, perky Abigail Breslin and tunes from Kenny Chesney. Your local news is next.
Next at 11, a Raleigh woman talks only to NBC 17 about her wild ride during a semester at sea. Plus, Pope John Paul rushed to the hospital. We've got new details on his condition.
Now get 2 Arby's fish sandwiches for just $4. All the flavor of 2 tender, flaky fish fillets for a special low price, but not for long.
When 2 great things come together, that's the sweet spot. Introducing the most powerful mid-sized truck, period. The all-new 265 horsepower Nissan Frontier. Welcome to the sweet spot.
Don't miss NBC 17's free health and fitness festival, February 12th and 13th at the Raleigh Convention Center. Get free health tests and have fun, too. See you there, NBC 17's free health and fitness festival.
Brought to you by Kroger. Steve and Melanie, NBC 17 News at 5. This is NBC 17 News at 11.
This is a live look at the hospital in Rome where the Pope is reportedly resting tonight as the concern for his welfare grows after days of illness. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Gaines.
And I'm Sharon Delaney. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, people around the world are praying for Pope John Paul II after he was rushed to the hospital this evening for an acute respiratory infection. The 84-year-old pontiff is one of the longest reigning popes and, according to local Catholics, one of the most influential.
One of the joys that you get when you get to meet the Holy Father in the apartment is that Felici, who's the Pope's photographer, snaps several pictures of you.
Monsignor Tim O'Connor of Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church in Raleigh cherishes the time he has spent with Pope John Paul II.
Obviously, he still had his strength that he was able to walk.
During the pontiff's leadership of the Roman Catholic Church, Monsignor O'Connor has visited the Vatican numerous times. He's had special access to the Pope because his great-uncle served at St. Peter's.
So I've seen him in Mass, I've seen him for a meal, and had personal times with him, so he's become very dear to me.
And to millions more around the world who Monsignor O'Connor believes the Pope has genuinely impacted in special ways.
In these 27 years, what he has accomplished to the world, I mean, you know, beyond just Catholics, just the way people, regardless of faith or no faith, they want to know what John Paul II thinks.
Be gracious unto him, Lord. He's been so kind to so many through the years, and restore his strength. We ask that, dear Lord.
At St. Michael's in Cary, Monsignor John Wall leads a liturgy committee in prayer. Parishioners talk about the influence of Pope John Paul II and his particular appeal to young people, despite his age.
Probably the most dynamic Pope in the history of the Church. Certainly he's traveled further and been in contact with more people and has spread the doctrine of the Church and his particular calling, which is to stimulate the love people have for one another.
And we will have continuing coverage of the Pope's hospitalization on our website. Visit NBC17.com for updates and a full timeline of the pontiff.
New at 11 tonight, officials are investigating a fatal plane crash. A single-engine Cessna 210 went down near Holden Beach in Brunswick County this evening. The Brunswick County Sheriff's Office says one person was killed and another injured. The plane crashed off Holden Beach Road. Part of Highway 130 will be closed until at least tomorrow morning. The identities of the victims have not been released yet. A semester at sea quickly turned into a very scary adventure. 21-year-old Rachel Rosenberg had seen the Coast Guard trip advertised on TV. So the accounting major at Appalachian State University saved up her pennies. But little did she know what she'd come face to face with. Only on NBC 17, Tina Tenray talked to Rachel tonight and joins us now live. Tina?
Bill, Rachel tells me ever since the boat left British Columbia January 17th, the ride was rough. At first she thought that was just what being on a boat was all about. But then 55-foot waves, 117-mile-an-hour waves, and this.
Oh my God, you got a better video than we have.
Rachel Rosenberg's parents are watching
Oh, Jesus.
and hearing their daughter and 900 others thrown around on board.
Oh, yeah, the boat was tipping so much that getting on the lifeboat wasn't an option.
Then Rachel calls from a payphone at a library in Honolulu.
I was like, they're not going to let us die. We have our life jackets on. We'll at least float for a while. So our drawers were going in and out. The TV fell off the wall, and just things were flying all over the place. And I woke up and I said, I cannot take this anymore. People were hysterical. The psychologists were going around trying to check on everybody.
I was tempted to tell her from the beginning not to take this trip, but I feel like a lot of time I'm kind of stopping her from doing things.
What's going through your mind? Are you scared?
Well, I wasn't scared because I was like, I live in North Carolina. We get hurricanes every once in a while.
He's laughing now, but when he first found out by accident on the internet that Rachel's ship had lost 3 engines, then couldn't reach her for days.
We said a lot of prayers. We were pretty stressed out. We said a lot of prayers.
Next, the students will fly from Hawaii to Asia, and flying's just fine with Rachel. She says she doesn't want to cross the Pacific for another 7 days on a boat. Tina Tenray, NBC 17 News.
Wake County school officials are adopting a series of upgrades to the district's communication system to avoid the problems that crippled the county during a winter storm 2 weeks ago. The changes include hooking up the county's radio system, which sheriffs and deputies and firefighters use to communicate during emergencies, and placing the district's cell phones on a high priority list with the wireless provider.
I don't think they looked at all the options closer to Wakefield. I know they mentioned the Boys Center, they mentioned this free offer of land behind the food line in Wakefield. I would also ask, what about the current proposed site on Forest Pines? Why can't they clear that and put a modular unit in addition to building the new schools? So there's been other options to keep the modular schools closer to home for our kids, period.
That was obviously the wrong interview. Officials also are looking at establishing regional centers where students could be picked up or dropped off during an emergency. The district hopes to get those initial changes in place within 3 weeks.
But it won't be that long until we could get another dose of winter weather. But will it be rain or snow? NBC 17's chief meteorologist, Janice Jones, is on the winter storm watch and joins us for the very latest. Janice?
Well, we're watching this storm with a whole lot of heavy rain. In fact, 4 to 5 inches in portions of Texas just today alone. For us, it likely means a real cold rain turning to a period of a wet snow in portions of North Carolina for part of the time that it passes us by. Here's where the heavy rains are located now, moving into the Florida Panhandle. We still have a lot of cold air over North Carolina right now, and you can see the back edge of this where it's meeting up with some cold air. It has produced some snow. It's not real widespread, but they got maybe 2 to 4 inches across portions of Texas today. A lot of moisture with this system. It will likely slide just to our south and bring the northern extent of it through our area during the day Thursday. We're going to keep the forecast as a rain-snow mix. I'll let you know who gets more of what coming up in your full forecast here in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Jen. Well, a former Harnett County postal worker accused of molesting children appeared in court today. Lloyd Coates faces 5 new charges now, including first-degree sexual assault. So far, 15 victims from several counties have come forward.
Those charges, according to the state's evidence, not our evidence, but the state's evidence, are indecent liberties, and they involve touching some child on the shoulder or wherever. They don't involve what we would normally consider a serious sex offense.
Coates will be back in court February 15th.
A former Onslow County teacher pleaded guilty today to assaulting one of his students. A judge sentenced William Dudley to a 60-day suspended jail sentence with 3 years probation. Dudley pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge. Police arrested Dudley last March after a 17-year-old girl told them she performed a sex act on him consensually. The girl told another student. They told school officials. 3 suspects in the murder of a Bunn High School athlete appeared in court today under heightened security. Authorities tell us there have been a lot of threats in connection with the Mark Philippou murder case. Charles Mayo, Elliot Hazelwood, and Antoine Perry are charged with killing Philippou last month. They're scheduled to appear in court again on February 22nd.
2 men charged in a brazen robbery and chase also appeared in court today. Jeremy Faison and Edward Duncan were assigned attorneys today. Their bail was set at $150,000 each. Both men are charged with breaking into a home in Johnston County, then shooting at the victim's grandfather, who chased them down in his car. The grandfather, by the way, is also a prison guard. Tonight, Roxborough police identified a woman found dead at a Days Inn over the weekend. The body of Barbara Jean Cunningham was found on the floor of room 117 Sunday night. Investigators say the 53-year-old was also known as Barbara Link. Right now, authorities want to question 43-year-old Jesse James Harris. Harris might be driving a white 1984 Honda Civic with Virginia tags of 80Y5653. Anyone with information about this case should call the Roxborough Police Department at area code 336-599-4899.
Meanwhile, in Durham, police identified a shooting victim today, but her killer is still on the loose. The body of Michelle Royale was discovered last week. Royale was found on Chandler Street near Wake Forest Highway. Investigators believe she was last seen in early January getting into a car near Andrew Avenue and Driver Street. Royale also went by the name Michelle Spencer. Chiefs of police from more than 100 departments across the North Carolina appeared before the General Assembly today as lobbyists. For Durham Police Chief Steve Chalmers, the war against gangs remains his top priority. He spent the day meeting with lawmakers. Chief Chalmers wants tougher penalties for gang members. He says gang problems can pop up in any North Carolina city.
What we're going to have to do is to make certain that there are clear penalties and increased penalties for not just being a member of a gang, but being involved in criminal activity and being associated with gangs.
Durham County has a prosecutor who specifically handles gangs. You've seen the horrific pictures and heard the terrorizing stories.
Now, for the first time, a guilty plea from an American soldier accused in the Iraqi prisoner abuse scandal. New details ahead.
You take people, children, husbands, and kids away from them, but then when they pass away, you give them $12,000.
Plus, a local widow speaks out as the nation tries to put a price on patriotism. Coming up, reaction to the push to increase the death benefit for U.S. troops.
And it's reading, writing, and affairs of the heart. Local students get a special lesson on compassion when NBC 17 News at 11 continues.
Tonight, Jay's All New with Oscar nominee Leonardo DiCaprio, who was almost known as
Lenny Williams.
Plus, Meg Ryan signs Jay's bike, cute kid actress Abigail Breslin, Kenny Chesney, and John the Announcer's Vegas Challenge. Then on Conan, from West Wing, Oscar nominee Alan Alda and Jeffrey Tambor. All new tonight.
Closed captioning of this program provided by Wendy's.
When it's late and you're hungry for a Wendy's hot and juicy classic double with cheese, remember our pickup window is open till 1 a.m. or later.
We'll say something new, we'll say something new, something new. But something you do, but something you do, something you do. We'll say something new.
Announcing the final sale, your final chance for unbelievable savings at Toyota of Durham. Every model is priced to sell. Absolutely everything must go before we move into our brand new building. Camrys, Corollas, Tacomas, even Sequoias, all with drastic reductions and all with the absolute final price posted on the vehicle. Finally, now it's your chance, your last chance at Toyota of Durham's final sale on now. Don't miss it.
Tomorrow, the State of the Union. Brian Williams and Tim Russert live. Also, new discoveries about teenage risk-taking in the brain. NBC Nightly News tomorrow.
My mother's hearing is starting to get worse, and it's getting harder and harder to communicate with her. There must be something out there that can help.
Are you one of over 1 million people in North Carolina with a hearing loss? If so, you may qualify to receive free equipment to help you communicate more easily with others and the world around you. For more information and to see if you are eligible, call the Telecommunications Equipment Distribution Program at 1-800-999-5737.
You're watching NBC 17 News at 11.
3 more Camp Lejeune Marines died supporting our Operation Iraqi Freedom. 19-year-old Lance Corporal Jason C. Redifer, 21-year-old Lance Corporal Harry R. Swain from the 4th, and 27-year-old Corporal Christopher E. Zimney. All 3 died yesterday as a result of hostile action in the Babel province. Troops like those have sacrificed their lives for our country, but some believe what the government offers their families in compensation is an insult.
Now there's a new push to increase the death benefit for U.S. troops killed in Afghanistan and Iraq. NBC 17's Rux Russell joins us now. And Rux, the idea is to increase that benefit from $12,000 to $100,000?
That's right, Sharon. And some families say it would make a major difference in their lives, including one woman from Fayetteville who lost her husband 1 year ago.
But with him, he had a very kind heart.
A husband, a father, an American soldier killed in action in Iraq.
They said that he was on a regular mission and his vehicle was hit by IED.
How do you value a human life?
When anyone gives up their life for their country, their life is worth more than $12,000.
$12,000 is what the government gave Maxine Crockett last January after an improvised explosive killed her husband, Staff Sergeant Ricky Crockett. It's the current death benefit provided to all families of U.S. troops killed in Afghanistan and Iraq. Maxine, who's retired from the Army, used most of that money for her husband's funeral.
It was a little left, but me paying for school and everything, it was gone.
Now President Bush and Congress are considering increasing the death benefit to $100,000. The government would also pay for $150,000 in life insurance for troops. Maxine Crockett receives a small check from the Army each month. She says the new initiative would help balance her bills and ease her family's pain. She still watches her husband's memorial service on a DVD she recorded.
You could really never put a price on someone's life, even though money will not bring them back, but at least it's the gesture of it.
Increasing the death benefit will be part of the president's 2006 budget proposal. If approved by Congress, the benefits would be retroactive, and that means families like the Crockett's would be in line for some more help.
Rux, obviously this money is tax-free for the family, correct?
Yes, it is.
Well, Mrs. Crockett, she will not receive the whole $100,000, though, will she?
No, I mean, you've got to do the math. So in her case, and families like hers who have already received that $12,000 benefit, you would
88.
subtract that, and she would get 88.
Okay, Rux. Thanks so much.
Sure.
One of the soldiers involved in the Iraqi Abu Ghraib prison abuse scandal pleaded guilty today to some of the charges against him. Sergeant Jabal Davis pleaded guilty to dereliction of duty, battery, and making a false official statement. He pleaded not guilty to conspiracy and mistreating detainees. The guilty pleas were part of a deal with prosecutors to lessen his sentence. His trial at Fort Hood, Texas, begins tomorrow.
Former President Bill Clinton may have a new assignment. A diplomat at the United Nations said Mr. Clinton will be their top envoy for tsunami reconstruction efforts. It's not official yet, but a UN spokesman said they want someone with a high enough profile to keep tsunami relief efforts in the world's attention. Mr. Clinton has already been making tsunami fundraising efforts with former President George Bush Sr. The disaster killed more than 157,000 people and displaced millions in 11 countries. Some local elementary school students traded in their pencils for paintbrushes today to help tsunami victims. The idea is just one part of a school-wide effort at Ravencroft to help the victims of the powerful natural disaster in Southeast Asia. The plan is simple. Make scores of these pins, decorate them with personal designs, then sell them to family and friends.
We have a lot of money, and we are so fortunate that we have all this stuff. We can just donate it to them because they're very poor right now and they're in a bad situation.
It's very gratifying to know that they are developing a sense of responsibility as well as a sense of compassion.
The entire school is joining the second graders in the effort. Ravenscroft hopes to raise more than $3,000 by the time the drive is over in May.
I hope they do.
No kidding. That's a really
Cute
nice
pin.
effort.
Good effort on their part. Janice is here, and we're going to be talking about some more winter weather.
Yeah, we're watching a lot of heavy rainfall. So far, the system down in the Gulf of Mexico is dumping rain on southern areas, a little snow back on the back edge, and we'll have to see when it gets here what our temperature is. But let's talk about that in the forecast. First, with a peek outside tonight. It's been a nice evening.
Yeah.
Clear skies.
Cold.
Temperature now, yeah, you're right, it's cold, is already below freezing now, but these are pictures we caught just a little while ago. And a beautiful evening with just a few clouds passing by in these overnight hours. Take a look at what happens as we start the morning hours tomorrow. You'll see plenty of sunshine. It's through the day tomorrow. that the clouds will start to roll in. Once we hit Thursday's forecast, that system is passing us by. Temperatures will be borderline, just above freezing in most cases, a cold rain, but it could at times mix with a wet snow, and certainly western portions of the state will get some snow. So we'll outline that here in a moment. 31 current temperature, northerly winds still hanging in there. This northerly flow will keep the cold air sucked in over that usual place of central portions of North Carolina minimum. Clear skies tonight. That's the satellite and radar picture showing where the clouds and rain have been over the last 12 hours or so. Very clear over us, but look what is just starting to spill in across portions of Mississippi, Alabama. Eventually, in passing through Georgia during the day tomorrow, we'll see heavy rain showers through the morning hours, and then through later Wednesday, starting to approach western portions of our state and eventually southern portions of our state. It stays heavy rain down near the warm front section. The back edge of it, bumping into the cold air, is producing some snow showers. This looks to follow a track northeast, but staying south of North Carolina. That means we don't really get in this warm sector. We stay in pretty cool air, but not significantly below freezing, not enough so that we can say this is going to be snow as it pulls on through here. I'm going to put snow in the forecast, certainly for the mountains. It'll probably start out as sleet and snow. Eventually, as the system pulls through, snow will fall, and then that'll turn back over to rain. And for portions of western and upstate North Carolina to the triad, a wet snow is likely. Once we get into our area, we're really on the split there, where we could get a mixture of some snow coming in for a period of time, and the colder hours Thursday turning over to a rain. Then once you get down near Lumberton, even along that 95 corridor, the area should be really a cold rain through the day. We'll monitor this storm as it comes north and temperatures more closely as we get into those overnight hours Wednesday as it starts Thursday. Tonight, 24 for Henderson, 23 Rocky Mount, but about 27 for the overnight low for Fayetteville. That's a pretty chilly start to the day. Typical temperature this time of year would be about 31 in the morning, and that's where we are right now, remember. 48 for the high in Smithfield, 48 for Fayetteville, 46 Roanoke Rapids. Plenty of blue sky if you look off to the northeast. If you look to the southwest, if you were to drive to Charlotte, you're going to run into that moisture a lot more quickly. This system rolls on through here. Thursday, I'm going to put a rain-snow mix. Remember, you should monitor your travel throughout Thursday. Different portions of the state could see a little less or a little bit more. Mostly cloudy Friday, but the weekend after the system shapes up pretty nicely.
All right, thanks so much, Jen.
It was a simple act.
That's right, 4 young black men sitting at a lunch counter in a Woolworth store. Coming up, celebrating the anniversary of the first civil rights sit-in 45 years later.
NBC 17's Health and Fitness Festival is coming February 12th and 13th, and it's better than ever with even more free screenings and tests like cholesterol, blood sugar, and eye checks. For fun, there's cool stuff for kids and kids at heart. Dancing, a rock climbing wall, and a NASCAR simulator. So join me and the NBC 17 team for a free weekend dedicated to your good health.
NBC 17's Health and Fitness Festival, brought to you by GlaxoSmithKline.
Hey, Teddy, can you come in here and do some rebates for me?
Sure. Actually, sir, my biological dad, who I haven't seen in 20 years, just showed up. And he really wants to take me for ice cream, so...
Teddy, yeah, you know we have an easy button now, right?
We have an easy button?
When it comes to rebates,
Larry, Dave,
everybody has an easy button. It's called Staples. Just go online. There's no clipping, no mailing, no hassles. What's easier than that? Staples. That was easy.
So with the first pick in this year's draft, Dallas selects Cordell Russell, wide receiver, Nebraska.
Life comes at you fast. Be ready with Nationwide. Investments, retirement, insurance.
Nationwide is on your side.
Starting tomorrow at Hex, we're rewarding shoppers during our Super Winter Fashion Clearance, where you'll save up to 75% on great sportswear for her and him. Plus, this week we're giving you an extra 20% off all Winter Fashion Clearance prices, and there are no coupons needed. Save an extra 20% on top of clearance sportswear for her and him. Cold weather accessories, and exciting shoes and boots. Plus, don't miss our super home sale. There are no coupons needed. Extra 20% savings on clearance are automatic. Plus, with every $50 purchase, you'll automatically get a free $10 reward card, too. Reward yourself at Hex.
45 years ago today, history was made in Greensboro.
4 men from A&T University refused to leave their seats at a whites-only lunch counter. Today, 3 surviving members of the famous Greensboro 4 returned to that exact same spot. The old restaurant will soon become the home of the International Civil Rights Center and Museum. It will serve as a bridge between the past, the present, and future.
Coming to see here how America does it and how America makes change. That's what I hope that this museum will say to people.
Construction continues on the International Civil Rights Center and Museum. It's expected to open this July.
NBC 17 is honoring Black History Month.
The page can't start with slavery.
We're airing a series of commercials that give current student government presidents at historically black universities in our area a chance to talk in depth about Black History Month. We'll also have a special half-hour program that focuses on the issues affecting the African American community here in the Triangle and throughout the state. Now you can see the future of Black History Sunday, February 13th, right here on NBC 17 at 11 a.m.
And Chris Stout joins us now. We've got news actually from the CIAA and the historically black colleges.
A lot of highlights tonight, so we've got a lot of action. The Shaw Lady Bears go for their 46th straight win and the NHL lockouts. Kevin Adams joins us to tell us what he thinks about a potential offer next on NBC 17 Sports.
Black market baby food. Thieves and thugs have targeted the Triangle as a place to deal. Find out why and why your baby may be in danger. NBC 17 investigates Thursday night at 11.
There are no actors, no special effects, no computer-enhanced anything. But one look and you'll know it's still the greatest show on earth. The all-new Ringling Brothers at Barnum and Bailey Circus. The family tradition that's anything but routine.
February 11th through 14th at RBC Center. Get your tickets today.
Time Warner Digital Cable has more choices than ever. Plus, options like movies on demand with eye control let you watch what you want when you want. Roadrunner high-speed online's blazing fast speed lets you download videos, buy tickets, even instant message. With Time Warner Cable's home phone service, you get free installation and unlimited calling across town or across the U.S. and Canada for one low monthly price. Save on all three. Call now for a special 6-month offer.
Put time on your side with Time Warner Cable. Now anything's possible.
Whoa, that's total negative. That's total negative.
When my hunger's big, there's nothing like a double QPC. I'm loving it. Thank you. Gracias.
Education must be included in Section B, along with a complete history of employment.
Is that it? I mean, is that all they want?
That's it, Dad. Can I go play now?
You can go play.
If you know someone who struggles with reading, we can help. Please call the Walmart Literacy Helpline, 1-800-929-4458.
Tomorrow on Today, Matt gets personal with legendary rocker Tina Turner.
Am I going to see the legs?
Yes.
Whoa. And what are your kids doing when you're not watching? Our special series, The Secret Lives of Your Children, on Today.
According to reports, the NHL will make a final offer to the players Wednesday. The offer will reportedly include a $42 million salary cap. Kevin Adams joined me tonight at 6 o'clock, and I asked him if the players would accept a $42 million salary cap.
So far, the problem has been that, we've said we're willing to bend and go as far as we can, but that's the one place we won't move on is a hard salary cap, and that's what keeps getting offered. So if that's the offer tomorrow, then, my optimism will not be very high.
Well, the NHL has not said if they will make the players a final offer Wednesday. We will let you know tomorrow. Basketball now in the heart of ACC country. It seems we are always talking about a big game. And tomorrow, Duke travels to Wake Forest. Another battle of two top 10 teams with visions of a #1 seed in March.
Expect them to be Wake. They're always good at home, especially when they play against us. They're going to be ready to play this game. It's on national TV. It's a big game. And it's a big conference game for them also, as well as for us. We have to be prepared for them just like they have to be prepared for us.
Wake Forest is definitely one of the best, if not the best team in the country, and it's going to be a huge game. They're very tough to play, especially on the road.
Here's a shocker. Less than a week after beating Duke in Durham, Maryland goes to Clemson and lays an egg, a rotten egg. The woeful Tigers are not woeful tonight. They thumped Maryland 88-73 is your final. Well, NC State senior Levi Watkins will miss the next 4 to 6 weeks after spraining his right knee in practice today. He is averaging 5 points a game. NC State plays at Carolina Thursday. CIAA action tonight. St. Aug's hosting Virginia State. Standing room only. Fans got a good one tonight. Claude Neely working inside and outside. First, the move and jumper, and then the alley-oop. But Virginia State wins this one 55-50 is your final. Shaw hosting Virginia Union. Nate Aaron, no trouble with the jumper out top. And then Marcus Jennings dials in from long range, but Virginia Union knocks off Shaw tonight 83-61 is your final. The Shaw women just keep on winning. The third-ranked Bears with another woodshed special. Leslie Anderson and Joy Hairston making the highlights tonight. And Shaw beats Virginia Union 101-60 the final. The Lady Bears have won 46 straight CIAA games. One other CIAA score to pass along. North Carolina Central men beat Johnson C. Smith 74-62. The annual Super Bowl Media Day in Jacksonville did not disappoint. Hundreds and hundreds of media from around the world looking for a good story. Most cameras were pointed towards Eagles receiver Terrell Owens, and Owens made it clear today that he will play Sunday.
You know, obviously it's a good story for the Super Bowl and all the hoopla surrounding me and my teammates, and you know, will I play or not? But you know, I'm here, I'm going to play, and that's it.
Even though his doctor says, he's not supposed to play, can't play.
Hope he doesn't hurt himself worse.
All right, thanks
We'll
a lot,
see.
Chris. All right. Janice, how about a final look at the 5-day?
Yeah, let's take a look at the 5-day forecast here. On Thursday, we're looking at probably a transition of snow through rain back to snow. Remember, when they transition from a frozen to a freezing, then you likely get a mixture of freezing rain in there at some portion of time. It will all be temperature dependent. We got a pretty good amount of moisture with this system. So through the day Thursday, as it passes by, we'll have to be keeping you updated on that storm. Right now, it's a heavy rainmaker down south, a little bit of snow on the backside of it in the portions of Texas, and we've got the day tomorrow to keep updated on it as well.
All right, very cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to tune in to NBC 17 today, beginning at 5 a.m.
Tonight's show is up next with Jay Leno. Have a great night. We will see you tomorrow.
Closed captioning is brought to you by North Carolina Division of Services for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing.